How are we looking here? Do I look casual, relaxed here? I'm actually filming from my bedroom. I've been waiting for a time when I'm feeling refreshed and when I don't look exhausted and when the house is free from noise and people and everything, and none of those things have happened, so this is me exhausted and probably looking exhausted, but I don't care. This is where we're gonna do it, just quick and dirty. Probably won't be very quick because I tend to go on. I'm one of those. I'm a go oner. So this is my top, best, ultimate, favorite, most complimented. It's actually not my most complimented winter fragrances for this year. I probably should have done this a little earlier in the winter, but hey, it's January. We're still right there in the middle of winter. I was gonna do like a designer list and then a niche list, but my fragrances really are, a lot of them are borderline, like could be considered designer, could be considered niche. So I decided to just lump it all together in one big fest of fragrant extravagance here. So a couple of, I guess, honorable mentions, if you will, things that I wanted to talk about really quick. I just drank a large Red Bull to give myself some energy for this, and oh boy, I'm feeling it. So this is probably going to be a total train wreck, so just watch as it crashes and burns. The first thing I wanted to talk about is actually a room spray that I got from Diptyque. Diptyque's 34 Saint Germain collection. They have a candle that is amazing that I have. I've already burned almost to the bottom of it. And this collection is meant to smell like their flagship boutique in Paris, the Diptyque boutique. And this is a room spray. I love to spray it in my room. It just makes it smell so just like spicy and warm and really like woodsy, like dark mahogany woods type vibes. And it's pretty affordable. I got it on Lucky Scent. Diptyque is out of stock of a lot of stuff right now, probably from the holidays, but Lucky Scent still has these, and Lucky Scent still has the candle, which I highly recommend the candle as well, the 34 Saint Germain candle. Bougie parfumée. So that's just a quick one. And then another one that I feel like is kind of just a quick honorable mention just because it's brand new. I've only been wearing it for the past week or so, is the new Tom Ford Beau de Jour. So this is a new addition to the Tom Ford signature line. It was part of the private blend line and they made it into a signature release similar to what they did with Ombre Leather. This is your classic men's barbershop fougere. This is high-end shaving cream. There's a really nice big dose of patchouli in here that gives it that kind of old school masculine vibe. There's a special sort of rosemary. I think Fragrantica just lists it as rosemary, but if you go on Parfumo, they list it as some sort of like white rosemary or something like that. Apparently it's related to rosemary, but it's a little different. So there's a sort of special rosemary note in here. There's also some geranium that really like freshens it up and waters it up. There's some mint that makes it cooling. So this is like the perfect post-shave fragrance, or in my case, post-trim. Or I shave my neck sometimes with a razor. So like after I do my neck sometimes, give it the old go. And I've been wearing this to work all week long. I've gotten some compliments. Actually, dudes seem to like this one. Women, particularly younger women, have not been super into this. I think it has maybe a little bit of a dated feel. because it's, you know, it's a classic men's fougere, but that's Tom Ford's Beau de Jour, just kind of an honorable mention. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wait, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'll do one more honorable mention. Prada L'Homme Intense, honorable mention just because I just got it. I have been getting into the Prada L'Homme line. I ignored it just because it was such a hyped line for so long. I'm chewing gum. I shouldn't chew gum in a video, you guys. You really shouldn't chew gum in a video. It's rude. It's unprofessional. Anyway, Prada L'Homme Intense takes the original and it just darkens it up. It classes it up, it darkens it up, it smooths it out. I'm not really sure what they changed note-wise here because I still get that iris, I still get that kind of soapy thing, but there's a darker ambery thing going on underneath this that makes it fit a little bit better for the colder weather. So this is another great work fragrance, and I've actually been getting some good feedback from this one as well, if that's something that you're concerned about. So let's jump into the actual kind of like top 10 favorite. I really don't have an order to these. I'm just gonna kind of randomly pick and choose here. So let's start with one from Guerlain. It's Guerlain's Louis. This is a fragrance that's based around benzoin. It's vanillic benzoin. It's got like a suede leather accord in here, and you know that I love those suedey leather accords. So this has that kind of suede leather, benzoin, vanilla. There's some clove in here, but don't let that, clove haters, don't let that scare you away, because I'm not a huge clove fan, but I've been loving this. There's a nice sweet pear in the opening that's really nice. There's some carnation in here, which actually kind of gives a little bit of a feminine touch, and I think that's the point with this one, is they really wanted to make a fragrance that was genderless, that really could be have aspects of masculinity and femininity, and I think they did a great job with this Louis. The bottle is cool, but everybody else has already talked about how cool the bottle is, Art Deco or whatever. I don't even know what Art Deco means, but apparently that's what this bottle is. It's a dope bottle. I got a great deal on this on FragranceNet. This originally was a super expensive fragrance that can be had now for like 65 bucks on FragranceNet, and it is totally worth it. Next in line here, let's go to Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Grand Soir. Grand Soir, another benzoin based fragrance, but has really nothing in common with Louis. This is a sweet benzoin. That really is what this is all about. It's warm, it's inviting, it sparkles, it really opens up with this kind of sparkly, almost like, you know, when you're popping open a bottle of champagne or something, just this fizzy, sparkling, just gorgeous, kind of golden, sparkly thing going on here. Ambery, this is all amber and benzoin, and it is just gorgeous. It's warm, it's classy, it's really it's perfect for a night out, and it's perfect for a night in, like cozy, great fragrance. Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Grand Soir. Next, let's go to Chanel. Coromandel, another amber, another sort of oriental, but totally different, you know. Another fragrance that really uses that amber as its base to give it some warmth. Oh man, this may be one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It's easily one of the best from the Chanel Exclusives line. There's a sort of earthy patchouli in this that I really like, but then there's also this smooth, almost waxy overtone to that earthiness that really rounds out that earthy patchouli. Some people talk about a white chocolate accord in this. I don't necessarily smell something like white chocolate, but there's something in there that I know what they're talking about. There is something sweet and smooth and light in here that, again, just adds to the contrast. And then, of course, you've got that Chanel DNA running through here. Chanel Coromandel, just another total masterpiece and one of my favorites for winter. Next, let's go with an indie fragrance. The only indie fragrance or independent brand that I have on this list comes from Tower Parfums. Andy Tower, great guy, great perfumer. He really has created some amazing perfumes that are all so creative and all so different. This is his sort of masterpiece, L'air du Desert Marocain. So much has been said about this that I won't really add to it, other than this reminds me, there's this dry wood in this that reminds me of growing up. My grandpa had a sawmill, and he was always like, he built like an addition onto their house where he used all these like fresh raw planks of wood, and I remember that smell, the smell of like playing around the sawmill where all the sawdust, this big pile of sawdust would go from where they would, do the timber and making the log, turning the logs into planks and everything, and just the smell in the air. This reminds me of that. The first time I smelled that, it instantly took me there. And I think that's what I love about it. So much more than a dry wood though going on in here. You've got a lot of spices. Again, an ambery fragrance. Amber is just such a versatile thing in perfumery. It can mean so many different things. Of course, this is meant to evoke sort of a Moroccan marketplace, the smells from the marketplace mingling with the dry desert air, and Andy Tower, he pulled it off perfectly here with L'air du Desert Marocain. Let's see, what do we got next? Let's go to Dior. So, plenty of shit talking against Dior lately and against their perfumer, Francois Demachy, for, things like this new Dior Homme, which I'll do a separate video on this, kind of talk about what I think about that. Sauvage and how Dior has really changed. I'm not going to get into all that. Actually, I'm going to sing Dior's praises right now. I'm going to sing Francois Demachy's praises for Dior Homme Parfum. I don't know where this fragrance is going to go, if it's still going to be available, if it's going to be a Paris exclusive or whatever, but this is a perfect parfum version of the original Dior Homme DNA. It's got the iris melded with this leather, this very smooth, dark leather. There's some ambrette in here, which adds this sort of musky, smooth thing. This is just all smooth, dark iris. It's a gorgeous fragrance. This has really become one of my favorite fragrances of all time. No brainer for my favorite winter fragrance list. Dior Homme Parfum is just, I hope it stays around. I hope that it doesn't go away or get, changed or reformulated or anything, because Francois Demachy knows how to do a parfum version, a pure perfume version of something, and really not just do an intense version of the original, but change things around and really make it an elevated version, and he's done that with Dior Homme Parfum. While we're talking Dior, we might as well go to the other Dior on this list. It's another parfum version from Francois Demachy, Fahrenheit Parfum. Again, I read an interview with Francois Demachy, the perfumer, saying that he didn't want to just take the original Fahrenheit, which is such a classic, iconic fragrance, he didn't want to just intensify that because it's already such an intense fragrance. You know, the original Fahrenheit doesn't need any more intensity. So instead, he polished it. He made it more warm. He really rounded out all the edges. Again, there's some added leather in here. You still get that violet, but the violet, instead of being brash and almost, you know, petrol-like in the original, you get this kind of rounded violet, this soft violet in here, along with the leather. That, again, you know, really similar to Dior Homme Parfum. He really kind of did the same thing. He elevated the original into something that is absolutely world-class, masterpiece level. Fahrenheit Parfum is masterpiece level. Every time I wear it, I love it. It's vanilla. It's got the vanilla going in there, so it's warm, it's inviting, it's classy, it's unique, it's creative. Dior Homme, or Dior Fahrenheit Parfum. Let's see here. Let's go back to Guerlain here with Bois Mysterio. I got this about 2 months ago. I've kind of been getting into this line, the Absolus d'Orient, that Thierry Wasser has been working on over the past couple of years, celebrating Middle Eastern styles of perfume, the Oriental styles of perfume. All of the spices, the saffrons, the ouds, the leathers, and they're all in here. Bois Mysterio, it has these dark, luxurious woods going on in it, but there's so much more on top of it. There's a really, to me, like almost like a pure sex musk note in the top that is just really to die for. It's just absolutely sexy. Another one this one is maybe a little bit hard to wear in certain situations. I feel like Dior Homme Parfum, Fahrenheit Parfum, if you go easy on the trigger, you can get by in professional situations. Bois Mysterio, I don't know if you could get by, maybe just one spray and you could get by in professional situations, but this is an intense fragrance. This really has an intensity to it. This is a, you know, mas fuerte type fragrance. This really, but it's gorgeous. It's beautiful, leathery, dark, oudy, musky, just beautiful. Bois Mysterio from Guerlain. Let's see, I got 3 left to talk about here. Let's talk about Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. So much has been said about this. Kind of a toned down version of Tuscan leather, really, and I prefer it to Tuscan leather. I wear this a lot. This is really my going out on the town, or, you know, if I ever went on a date, I'd probably go with this. This would be a great date fragrance. I wear it to work a lot. This is a fragrance that's going to get you a lot of attention because it's just so inviting. The leather is just so smooth. There's a cool factor here. This is just like one of the coolest fragrances I think that I own, and one of my favorite fragrances out of my whole collection. Ombre Leather really has become one of those fragrances that I love it, I love it, I love it, and I keep loving it. You know, each time I wear it, I'm like, man, I don't get tired of this stuff. That's Ombre Leather from Tom Ford. Let's see. Let's go. We got 2 left. Let's go with Frederic Malle's Musk Ravager. You're seeing a trend here. So many amber perfumes, but that's what works in cold weather. That's what works in the wintertime. Musk Ravager, a legend. that now has been out for 20 years. This came out in the year 2000, part of the original collection from Frederick Malle. At the time, turned a lot of heads for the sort of animalic musk that's in there. This sort of almost fuzzy musk that makes you just want to like just get inside there, just warm and fuzzy and sexy, just like, oh yeah, this is just like a warm, fuzzy, sexy place that you go. I don't know how else to explain it. It's got that amber underneath there. This really is an amber perfume with that musk on top. Just a gorgeous musk perfume, and another one of my favorite, I think, fragrances of all time, Musk Ravager. I don't get tired of this one, and in the cold weather, it really works. I did wear too many sprays of this to work one day, and I kind of had to, I almost started to panic, like, whoa, I really smell like just sex, you know? And but the musk, it calms down after a little while, so give it some time, and that kind of ultra sexy musk, animalic musk note will calm down, and you get into kind of the vanilla and the warmer tones of the amber that's underneath there. Last but certainly not least, from Chanel Egoiste. This really, again, one of my favorite fragrances of all time. It's hard to say what my absolute favorite is from this list because there's so many of my favorites on this list, but Chanel Egoiste, there's something so special about it because, you know, it was made it came out in 1990. Jacques Polge. This could easily be part of the Chanel Exclusives collection, and I would pay exclusive prices. But no, it's a $95 eau de toilette for a 100ml bottle, and that is just such a steal. This again is dark woods, like mahogany woods. This reminds me of like a wealthy man's den who has like the fire going and dark mahogany wood accoutrements, you know, desks and chairs and shelving, and then really dark luxurious leather covering everything, because there's a really like luxurious woodsy leather thing going on here. This sparkles the way that a Chanel perfume ought to sparkle. It's got those aldehydes in the top that just give you that burst of like, ah, yeah, this is Chanel. This is aldehydic. It's bright and vibrant, but then you get the darkness underneath, and ultra wearable, ultra masculine, classic, classy, and just a beautiful masterpiece from Jacques Polge and from Chanel. That's Chanel Egoiste. So I think I covered everything. So hey, it's been a while, so I thought I'd sit down and just crank one out, even though I'm, you know, I probably look a mess and sound a mess, but hey, sometimes you just gotta put yourself out there just the way you are, right? You know, like, hey, you gotta accept yourself the way you are. And hey, Mr. Rogers always used to say that, I love you, I think he used to say, I like you just the way you are. So I will say that to you. I like you just the way you are, and I like myself just the way I am, because that's the only way you're going to be anyway, so you might as well learn to love it. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any favorites from this list. Is there anything I left out? Is there anything that you're like, hello, why didn't you talk about blank? Let me know in the comments. I'd always love to hear from you guys. And hey, thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I'll see you later. Bye.